Good morning, guys. Happy Easter. I'm just kind of piddling around the shop for a little bit. Not going to spend much time down here today. It is Easter Sunday. But, I'm sitting back thinking about all the stuff that I got to do. If I've got an extra 30 or 40 minutes or an hour or something like that, I'm going to come down here. So I'm going to go ahead and install these spherical bearings in the upper bushing location on the rear end. I'll show you how to do that. Now, as you can see, I've done pressed one in. I got to thinking, well, maybe they want to see me do that. So I bought the bushing removal and installation tool from LMR. I'm not sure if it's LMR specifically. I know UPR makes one. But I'm just trying to wrap up, everything that I can for the most part. But I got to drive these new bushings in here. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Or show you how I do that. Now, it came with a fine threaded bolt originally. And I'm pretty sure that I'm the reason it doesn't have it anymore. Now, originally, I thought that I had ran too far up on the shank, but I clearly didn't. I think it just fell victim to my impact, and it couldn't do it. Now, I went and got this. The coarse thread, grade 8. Now, I bought 3 of these. This is the one I'm currently using on it. I mean, you can see it's suffering a little bit. But the bearing, the bushing that this fine thread wouldn't drive out, this coarse thread took it out like a champ. So, now this is the installation side. I didn't think the video pressing one out, but I've got another rear end coming up that I'll probably build. But honestly, I don't know that I'll put the spherical bearings in it. I'll probably just waller the inside of it out and put the urethane. But regardless, this thing, it comes with several pieces, and I'll do a quick breakdown on it. But basically, you got this. It's going to push that against that bearing like that. You got this, and you notice how it's notched. That'll let you get up against the rear end housing. Now, if you notice, I've had to add some spacers because I don't want to tear nothing else up. So, after investigating it, that isn't what caused that. The bolt just couldn't handle it. And I would have thought a fine thread would have been a better application myself. Now, this particular sleeve right here will allow the bearing to run up inside of it. It's just slightly bigger than the hole on the rear end. Now this one's going to be a lot easier. The other one, while it's tightening it down, it was wanting to pull the rear end up, which it wasn't that big of a deal. But buddy, you just draw it up. I was using a wrench on the other one. She getting tight now. Now this would work the same way if you had these bushings right here. I'm not really sure how you would figure out where you would want to stop. I think it would almost be worth buying one more tool and trimming this to the desired depth Now I got that about as far as I want to take it. There. And I might have took it too far because she's feeling a little tight. Okay, there we go. Feels like the thread's burred a little bit. I might have went too far with it. I did not. It's just, I mean, it takes a lot of pressure, but I mean, it's a grade 8 bolt. So I throw my spacers back on here to finish the job. It was funny, I was texting with my buddy the other day, yesterday. He was telling me about a Mustang he had found. And I mean, as soon as he started describing it, I knew the car. Got a killer deal on it. Now this right here is not pushing through. Because this right here, if you can see, it's almost flush with this. So it's not binding up there. Let me relocate this. Square it up a little bit better in the bearing. Let's see what that does for her. I noticed it looked like it wasn't in as much here as it was there. Just start over. Alright. Once you get past that rough spot, you could probably heat that. It's just not something that I believe I'd recommend doing. All right, so now I'm just about to where flush here. I can kind of see the bang. I read up on a lot, these bearings a lot. Sound like an instant regret. Sound like they're pretty noisy, but they say they hold her in place. Now that's why exactly, before this rear end goes in, I'm definitely getting the upper Torx box reinforcements. That sticks out a little bit. I must not have pressed this one all the way in. I don't think I did. We'll fix that real quick. All right, now I got one of these awesome aluminum differential covers with the main girdle studs. I bought a few of these already. They work fine. But you gotta do a little prep work. Now, one thing I wish I caught on video was the amount of aluminum shavings inside this thing. Whenever you buy it, clean it out. I mean, I'm telling you, these things come straight off the machine in China. And I will tell you this, they don't seal great 100%. So I put a few on. I bought 3 of these. Now I've put put a few on. Ugh. And I did not put any kind of sealer on it, thinking it'd be just fine. Look, I mean, it looks like a real nice machine surface, you know. Buddy, they've leaked. They have leaked. I mean, you know, I know transmission grease don't cost that much, but our hobby as a whole is not cheap. So you gotta, as my old manager used to say, you gotta pick up the pennies where you can. I remember he'd say that, and I just kind of laughed because, you know, dealt millions of dollars, and but you know, he couldn't be more than right. You know, I mean, the guy was super smart. So now, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm gonna, the holes, whatever they're using to cut their gaskets with, is less than desirable, believe you me. Now I will tell you this, I have cleaned out all these holes, so I'll have no, I don't want any extra issues. I do try to use the gasket maker sparingly, because who wants a bunch of crap? I mean, I still end up with this stuff everywhere. So now I don't apply this stuff very heavy. I do make sure I get the bottom of it fairly decent. I'm gonna say, pay attention to what you're doing. You know, use a torque wrench if you want to. Torque them in a sequence. I actually plan on doing that with this one, just because I don't want it to leak. I am putting some decent oil in this one, so I don't want to lose all my oil right away. Must be 5mm. Go China. 7:30 seconds for the win. All right. My apologies to China. Thanks for going out of your way to give us an American size. Awesome. All right. Right out of the gate, they're using locking. I didn't have this on my last one. But it looks like they're using lock washers. Okay, and they just press down in there. All right, keeps it centered. There we go. That's gonna be fun to get out. Now, if you'll notice, I have backed these main girdles all the way up, and I'm gonna show you why I did that. The next, I'm getting ready to order another one of these. And I mean, these things have gotten down to $71 free shipping. Plus tax, obviously. So, it's hard to beat a rear end cover at that price. And I mean, I know it's cheap. You are adding strength to this when you put this on here. And anything, I mean, This isn't no awesomely fast car. It'll never be. I'll never build an awesomely fast car. So about everything that I build it to where it'll more than handle anything that I'm going to do. So I can take this out and probably put this rear end in anything that I'm going to build. This sort of handle an 11-second car with ease. This up. My co-worker gave me this. Good friend of mine, Sam Simpson. So, which if you know Sam, you like him. He's a good guy. I'll tell you what, some of these holes are not drilled out the best. Tell you what, I'm gonna have to torque this down anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and get my Allen socket in. These are okay. That is one thing that's different. The depth on these are not all drilled the same, which is fine. I'm going to torque them at 18 foot-pounds. Okay, we're not going to do that because I think I just... do 15 foot-pounds. Okay. I may have stripped this one. No, that's a beauty. It was just hung up in there. That's why you torque when you think you got it tight. All right, so I'm not, and do not trust that torque sequence. I don't know if that's right. I just kind of did a crisscross, and you know, usually you don't get that luxury. Usually I'm laying on my back on a creeper and I just smack it a few times with a ratchet and keep going. As you can see, I backed these all the way out. There's a reason for that. I'm putting thread sealer on it. There's nothing there, and there might be an O-ring in there. I don't know, but I can't see anything that makes me think. Now, obviously, I'm going to clean this back up, and I'm going to tell you, it's some nasty stuff, but this is Permatex thread sealant, and nobody wants rear end grease running down the back of their rear end. Simple as that. Now these are 6mm. I just kind of snug it up against that main cap. like so. And now, always remember where you put your nuts. And that right there will push the residual down. And she'll seal. No point in changing it. Alright. From there. And wipe it off. Now I'm going to tell you, it's some nasty stuff. Takes a little bit of elbow grease to get it off. I'm going to double check this one more time. Yep, she's hard against it. Alright. Do yourself a favor. That's another reason you want to torque your, if you're going to use the girdle, the support, you want to torque your plate down to make sure it's evenly down. Because now you're pushing against the rear end housing. So you want to make sure you're pushing against all these bolts evenly. Alright, that's the installation. You guys, you've watched me install these bearings. You've watched me install this. Let me order some more wheel studs. And then we'll install the C-clip eliminators. And I'll tell you what, she's getting close to done. Guys, girls, thanks for watching. I'm just gonna call that a day. Like I said, I got something accomplished. But I'm just gonna call that it. Oh, we'll tell you this. If you remember the Edelbrock, where I said they mess these holes up, if you look at these, they drilled those out. Actually, on Zorro, I found some steel inserts. I got to drill this out a little bit more. But I got to drill this out, and I can put steel inserts in there that's got the 5/16, 18th thread. And I did. This was a 3/8 pipe thread. I drilled this last night, 1/2 inch, and then tapped it with a 1/2 inch pipe thread. Because I like running these crossovers. And I mean, I'm going to make some adjustments to this. And actually, I probably won't even use this. But I did go ahead and order some... I ordered a bunch of stainless steel flush Allen-headed plugs. And it's always nice to have those in stock. But yeah, so I am going to get to clean this up and use this on the Capri when we're all done. So if I'd have seen that last night, I'd have held off on putting that intake on that car. But this is the last intake that car is going to have on it while I own it. And I don't plan on selling it, but you never know. Now my Chinese Victor Jr. intake here, it's going to go on. I got to give it a pretty stout port job because it's nowhere near a Victor Jr. quality. And actually, I got a Victor Jr. I might just put that on there. I think I'm just going to do that. All right. You won't see him back on the Capri. Have a great Easter. Have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Short video, I know, but a little educational. Most of you all already know this, but we can't forget that there's some of us out here that are just getting into it. And, you know, we can't forget those people. We want this to grow. Some of us want it to grow. I mean, some of us wish that nobody would buy another Mustang so they'd all be available to them. I can attest, I was one of those people when I get mad when people, but now that I'm where I'm at and the amount of time that I spend on these cars, I realize that you can't fix them all. And honestly, I'd be 100% satisfied if the Capri and this car right here and this car, and I got my 85 GT up there and my white coupe. I'd be happy if that was the last Mustangs I ever had. Now, if you looked at my short, I got a little blue, I think it's 80 or 81 coupe. Decent car. It is going to turn into a drag car. And honestly, that is where that 456 rear end is going to land. And we'll probably build like a healthy high compression 302 for it and run on some like 110, 100, whatever octane, whatever's $10 a gallon, you know. We'll probably run about 13, 14 to 1 in it. Solid lift roller, stick shift. I'm not going for points. I don't have enough money to race like that. But, you know, we're gonna have a good time, you know. That car should run 11 flat on the motor. But we'll see, you know. How is this? We won't stop till we get there. Happy Easter. Stay safe, enjoy your family, be thankful for them. And also, don't forget the reason for this day. Have a great one.